Hello, this is Stefan again from schristoph.online. Today we'll talk about my latest blog post. Every few weeks a new coding agent leaderboard makes the rounds, but it never answers the question I actually care about. Which model, in which tool, does my kind of work at a price I'm happy to pay? So I stopped guessing and benchmarked it on my own tasks, measuring cost, quality and latency together. The install was boring in a good way, and before spending on a full matrix, I ran a single task as a smoke test. That habit paid off twice. Then I hit a wall, 5 tasks verify their output inside containers, and the container client stalled for 90 minutes with no build timeout. Rather than grind on it, I isolated the flaky dependency and ran the 10 tasks that had no container dependency. An honest limitation, not a hidden gap. The framework answers 2 questions people routinely conflate. Which model for which task? Hold the tool fixed and vary the model? A quality per dollar question. And which tool for my budget? Hold the model fixed and vary the CLI around it, a tool overhead question. Both report cost, pass rate, and latency together, because any one in isolation is how you end up with a fast agent that fails half your task. Run 1, 3 models in one tool, 10 tasks each. The surprise was in the middle. The most expensive model cost roughly 5 times the cheapest per run and still missed the task, while a mid-priced model passed everything at a third of that cost and was the fastest. On my tasks, the priciest model did not buy the best outcome. That is exactly what a generic leaderboard hides and a benchmark on your own tasks reveals. Run 2, hold the model fixed and change only the tool around it. The headline reading was that one tool is cheaper and faster, but that is shallow. Look at cost per successful task, and the two are almost neck and neck. The averages diverged mostly because of a single missed task pulling one of them up. Here is the finding that changes the verdict, and a reader rightly asks about it. The price you actually pay can flip the winner. The framework converts each tool's native unit to dollars using a rate you supply. At the published overage rate, the two tools are even at the lower effective in-plan rate. One becomes about half the cost per success. 2 defensible rates, 2 different winners, which is why the framework makes you supply your own. Now, the honest asterisk, one task failed on the same model in both independent runs, which looks like a genuine weak spot rather than a fluke. But that task is graded by an LLM judge rubric, and the judge is the very model being tested. Rubric scores carry judge variance that deterministic tests do not. So you might ask if the model is grading itself, is calling it a weak spot circular? That is the sharpest critique. And the fix is to say so plainly. The repeated failure across 2 runs is more than judge noise would predict, so I treat the score as a strong signal worth investigating. Not a hard number. When a result rests on a model grading model output, disclosing it is the difference between a benchmark you can act on and a leaderboard you take on faith. One detail worth pulling out, because it is a common misread, across the paid tiers, the effective per credit rate is the same. You do not move up a tier for a better rate, you move up because you need more monthly credits. Pick the tier that matches your volume and treat add-on credits as the pressure valve when you go over. So how do you run this on AWS? I ran a frontier model through Amazon Bedrock with my own account and got per task dollars out the other side. Confirm the model is available in your region first, resolve your credentials into the environment before launching the CLI, and start with a small subset of tasks to estimate costs before committing to a full matrix. Benchmarks consume real credits and tokens. This is a primary source. The open source framework I ran, AWS samples/sample agent cost bench, released under a permissive license. You bring your own tasks, it clones a real repo pinned to a commit, verifies with your own tests and reports cost, quality and latency together. Clone it, define 3 or 4 tasks that mirror your week and run it before your next model or tool decision. Thanks for listening. I hope this was helpful. If so, you can reach out on LinkedIn directly or head to my blog at schristoph.online. Let's keep in touch. Take care.